so much? Don't you know? Suno saheri milan baat kaho sagro aham mitavo. Tao ghar hi lalan pavo. Tab ras mangal gun gavo. I read a few scriptures. When would Kirtan happen? They says, oh no, Kirtan is like this. They thought I was crazy. So I made that at that time. I recorded and I put together, but I thought I'll find great material. And I haven't ever released the film, but it's been shown at a few documentary film festivals. I'll show that to you in a bit. And then Sina Basina Pedagogics in Kirtan Parampara, the benefits and flaw of over-evolved aesthetics, and hence its reliance on memory and remembrance. It's a big problem, you see. There's so many aspects within the Kirtan tradition, with the revival that I have engaged in, that as I usually say, if my heartbeat stops today, a few windows to our heritage would go, because it's yet to be passed on. Because things were nearly extinct when I came into the picture. So hence the conservatory that I'm building, where we want to make it, you know, we want to do that. Now, the reason why reliance on memory, it's a very interesting subject, isn't it? Memory, Professor Monday? Intangible and the tangible. What is the difference between, how I state, because time is short, otherwise we could engage in a more lively conversation amongst ourselves. Tangible, to retain the tangible asset, tangible heritage, what do you need to do? You create an environment, not warm as this, of course. The humidity level should be controlled, the temperature should be controlled. And I'm tangible, so I would have had preferred a different environment. But if you simulate an environment, and as long as the environment, simulated environment exists, the tangible heritage would not deteriorate. But the intangible heritage must be relearned and relived by every subsequent generation. That's the difference. Why? Because if we say Guru Ram Das has come, fourth Sikh prophet, mere man sev safal har ghal. If I sing it, it exists. The moment I stop it, it goes again back to silence. If I sing it, it's there and it's gone. Ra. Can I give you re here? I can't give it. So to retain, to learn the intangible heritage, you have to listen. You have to listen to it. And with Indian music, I was asked by my friends at the Berkeley in Boston once, after there's no something to write here? Anyway, it doesn't matter. The second time I'm missing that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I sang a composition, it's okay, I'll take it now, I'm different mood now. Gave an illustration of a composition, and they said, wow, was that a microtone? So I said, a microtone is a microtone until it gets established as a note. It's interesting. Because they usually ask, oh, Indian music has never been written. Oh, Western music, we wrote plenty. Look at Vivaldi, look at Bach, look at Haydn, and so on and so forth. What was it writing? Microtone is a microtone until it gets established as a note. Now, for example, it is the same sa is do, re, mi, fa, and the next, and the next, and ti. What do you call it? Okay. Now, if I have 10 rags, say Todi, Sri, Gauri, and its 11 versions. Okay? And then we have Ramkali. Etc. etc. The incarnation, these notes will be reincarnated. So the same ray would only be used here. This ray will never be used here. They were shocked. They said, oh, we've had all these musical exponents from India. I said, yeah, they were musicians. They were not academics within the realm. They have not studied music. They know how to perform it. They're mechanics. They perform. They're great performers. They can talk about music. This is what we found. How is it that in a civilization where scriptures were written even on stone before paper was created, then they made Tamrapatra, on leaflets they began to write, they made pigments to write. In that place, music was never written. It's not that these people didn't know how to write. So what is it that made them decide that this music is not possible to be written? Because it evolved, as I said, over-evolved aesthetics. I don't speak English. English is not my mother tongue, so I can mess with it. I can go far if I mess in Punjabi, by the way. So bear with me if I use funny terms and terminologies. Huh? Like meme. They said, what is to be a meme? I said, oh, if you need include E for ego in a man, it becomes a meme. I said, yeah, that's right. There's an E in a man, meme, and so that's how English I know. So this ray of Shri would not be used in any rag. Ray of Gaudi and 11 Gaudis. I would put the value 11 on ray, for example. In Guru Granth we have 11 Gaudis. And Ramkali, ray. All these are different. So if I were to write down, I say, okay, Shri has a Rajasvi Rekhab. Rajasvi Rekhab. This ray is Rajasvi, majestic. Now if you've heard from me how to, if I say you know it as Rajasvi, you know the name. But if I say, okay, can you sing the Rajasvi Rekhab? Oh, I just heard it's Rajasvi, but haven't learned how to sing it. Come on, why didn't you ever learn how to sing it? Because I never heard. See, you come to hearing. So you got to hear. Once you hear, you are able to hear until the day you say, oh, now I see the difference between this ray and this and this and this. Now I see the difference. It may have taken 10, 12, 15, 18 years. It took me about 12, 13 years before I could differentiate. Now the problem became, when I say overall aesthetics, because these attributes of the note, these incarnations of the note is not possible to write. So we had it written, but they were the personal diaries of the masters. That is why the intangible aspect of the song, of music, the intangible, is something which we should not actually attempt to write. That is what I observed, that an effort can be made to write the tangible of the intangible heritage within the intangible, tangible within the intangible, but you must not attempt to write the intangible within the intangible.